Hey, what's up, people? It's been looks like a couple of months since I uploaded something RV-ish. Wasn't a lot to update. We had the RV, of course, stored over on the other side of the water after I wrecked it. That was fun, and got the Hensley hooked up, and I can't remember the name of the channel. I want to give a shout out to the guy that did the one how to put your Hensley hitch on video. He did a follow up too. It'll come to me, or I'll put a link in. It was really helpful. From everything I can tell, thanks to him, he had a much harder time than I did. So I really studied his video and what he was doing, and got much better about the Hensley. In fact, the first time I hitched up, I still hitched, to bring it home. I managed to get it lined up the second try. Anyway, I've gotten it home now. I actually towed it home a couple weeks ago, but then had to park it nearby. I don't think there's going to be a way for you to see the setup here, but this is in the driveway of our Sticks and Bricks now. But basically, there isn't really a way in here, so I had to tear down a fence and pull it through the yard. There's a way out. But yeah, now we've got it in our driveway and hooked up to water and power. Started to do some work. Found that none of the propane things are working because there's about 2-foot gap where there's no propane hose. So when I hook the propane up and turn it on, and I'm like gonna listen for some leaks, I get this. Luckily, I didn't do a lighter test, so I don't know a lot about that. I'm gonna have to try to figure out as much of it as I can myself, and I think the MO I'm gonna use to be both not stupid but also fiscally responsible is to do as much of it myself as I can, and then take it to somebody to have it pressure tested, basically double check my work. Because I'd really like to learn how to do everything myself. I mean, yeah, I think everybody should anyway. Even if you ultimately go, you know what, I'd rather throw some dude $500 and go have some coffee. It's nice to know that you could do it if you had to. Anyway, I just wanted to share this idea. I'm sure a lot of people have done this. I haven't heard anybody really talk about it when they're transitioning. It's just amazing to have it here in the driveway and be able to just come out, just bring my laptop on a cup of coffee and have it as a retreat. But it's also a way to get used to it. It's also a way to find everything that's funky with it, which is a lot. I mean, I know new RVs still have stuff that go wrong with them or have to be taken back to the bureau and dealt with, but this one's 25 years old, so it's in really good shape for 25 years. But I mean, you can see like the awning there. I don't know if you can see where see it's torn. Well, the other thing look at the neighbor's blue tarp there. That's not helpful. I don't know if you can see that. No. The cool thing is back there, underneath the bedroom actually is a creek that runs it runs under our yard and then opens up in so you can hear it, and access to water. Anyway, it's right under our bedroom now, and of course the view down here is better. We have a water view, but down here in the driveway I can see so much more. And we've been here for 7 years, 2,200 square foot house that we're renting, and a decent amount of property that we also never use. And this weird little corner, in fact, this is easement because it's technically the road. It just dead ends. This is the nicest spot on the whole property. You could probably park here for free. Well, except for the hookups. So, yeah, I highly recommend this transition. It's taken away, bit by bit, it's taken away a lot of the anxiety of going full time. My wife and I came out here with some takeout a couple nights ago. Had a real date, we put the candles out and music, and food and conversation. Well, it's just a nice treat, but it's also like, you know, and I also spent day before yesterday, I came out for most of the day and did my day job work, just tethered to my phone. I'm going to get one of those, I forget the name of the orange pucks, the Wi-Fi cellular puck. Probably Velcro that right here. This is going to be my workstation. Basically, this corner, I'm just going to live there. I'm just sitting around the side now because I've got the view out the front, which you probably can't see with the glare, but you get the idea. And that was useful because we're realizing this is a dining table, and it's a really important feature of the RV. Not to be obvious, but we actually don't really eat at a dining table in our house, but we'd like to in here. We'd really like to have some routine, and this needing to be where I work all day, every day, kind of threatened that. So I really had to kind of work back and forth a number of different ways to find just how quickly and easily can I get to where all my stuff's out of our way and we really have a full dining table, and also how I can get my monitor here if we want to watch a show together. I think what will ultimately happen is that when Lisa wants to be at the table too, and on her computer, she'll have a laptop as well as a all-in-one. And her all-in-one will go. I don't think we'll be able to see that either. It's clear. Well, you can see the back wall. It's basically going to be back there. The closet, half the closet, we're going to convert that into desk area. Because this is some small space. So if we can spend, that chunk of the day, especially with my work, I have phone calls, which is kind of annoying if you're not doing that, to be sitting right with somebody who's doing that kind of stuff all the time. So we're going to have to be very modular. It's kind of interesting. Like we're used to kind of having a lot of ruts and grooves in the house and stuff sort of accumulating, and we can just pile everything on the desk area. That's where I'm at most of the time anyway. We cannot do that here. Everything's really got to be like necessary. It's got to have a place to go. And if it has to use a thing like the dining table, it's got to get the hell out of the way. So that's going to be an interesting exercise, I think, just trying to figure all those things out. Like even, I was thinking about the laundry basket today. It's too big to live in here. And I think, okay, I used to like totally live out of a duffel bag where I had a rotation, it's pockets, and I had a rotation that was just right to rotate the clean to the dirty, and I could all contain in a bag. And I thought, yeah, I've got this. And then I'm like looking around and going, where on earth is this duffel bag going to go in here? Yeah, there's like a million things like that you got to figure out. But that's kind of the fun part. Well, the other thing is updating, which Lisa's done an amazing job with. This thing's got, here, I'll preview you by seeing if I can get close enough. Now I can't see because of the glare. Well, you can see the wallpaper especially, but in the fabric of the valances, it is solidly 1995. And then she's gotten a bamboo cutting board and some new peel and stick wallpaper, and you can see the transformation in progress over here. And boy, you cut it off to where it's just that, and man, just like that, all of a sudden it's feeling really cool. And over there it's kind of old and sad and boring, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. She can do an accent color on this wall. I mean, it's just gonna be fun, and the whole thing is small enough that it's not like I don't want to say it's not a chore, because it really is. But I think about what if we just bought a house and we were trying to update it, and we'd be like, well, if we're going to paint this room, we should paint the other 3 rooms and all 4 of their walls, and should we do a treatment for the ceiling? And you're looking at 100 hours of work, especially, if you're not a professional painter. And all just because you really want to try an accent wall in your master bedroom, it snowballs into that. And, here, that snowball is, it's another 2 square feet. Oh yeah, let's do this wall too. Oh, okay, it's not like let's do a whole nother room. Let's refinish the garage. So it's really it's kind of fun that way. Yeah, it's just and it's also kind of it's kind of weird to pursue that while also being cognizant of the impermanence, the notion of upgrading, and not really knowing how quickly we're going to do that. We're really conflicted. Partially because we got to know do we like living like this at all? If not, what are the deficiencies? Is it us? Do we need to beat feet to an affordable, huge house so we can all have a ridiculous amount of space again? I hope not. But we're going to be honest with ourselves. But ideally, we have a piece of land. We park this on it, and we actually upgrade. But keep this. I mean, this was only $2,500. So I doubt I'd even get a good trade-in value on it. And if we have a place for it to be, we've got 2.9 adult children who at varying times might need a place to be. And we're no longer having a house for them to, run to. So I'm kind of thinking of having this be that available for them, and partially a home base for us. But the dilemma then is, of course, we want to upgrade the tow vehicle. I don't think you can see. Yeah, with the glare, I don't think I'd be able to show you. But I've got a 1970 pickup I told you about that we tow this with. I don't want to go hardly anywhere with that. I mean, just there's plenty of local, places within 45 minutes of here at the most. It's fine. I got it clear from much further away than that. I wouldn't want to go that far again. So we want to upgrade the tow vehicle. But we're also feeling like, ultimately the next RV kind of going back now. That repair thing had us go to the trailer. It was also a really great idea because if you're going to pay $2,500 cash for an RV, you don't want it to have the engine in it. I just feel like that was asking for trouble. So that's, it's not that we've gone back and forth, but now that we've got this secured and we're looking at that and thinking, man, that is really appealing. Especially, if we have this as a fallback, and if we had a piece of land and this as a fallback, and getting a Class C with like a GTI, Volkswagen GTI tow bind. That's really appealing. But going that route, where does that leave a nice tow vehicle that pulls this that we get, in a couple months from now? That leaves me conflicted. And I think what's going to happen out of that is that we'll end up with a really nice tow vehicle, and that will kind of financially probably force us to upgrade the trailer just to a nicer trailer that tow vehicle can tow. Because I think that's going to be, I hate to say easy, but relatively, they're going to be cheaper. We get our credit right down payment and all that. The monthly payment on a new one like this, but updated, just isn't going to be a significant factor at all. Where, getting the right Class C and the right tow behind, that starts to get to the point where we're a little bit committed to sticking with this lifestyle, because that doesn't leave enough to buy a big house. So, boy, it's tough to plan, I guess is the bottom line. And that's a challenge, because I think the reflex is to go, okay, fine, we're spontaneous people. We did a 3-week, 6,500 mile trip with no planning more than 12 hours ahead of time, the whole time. I mean, when we got up in the morning, we did not know where we were going to sleep that night for 3 weeks. We're great at that, but when we've got systems to deal with here, and space and towing and reservations, and there's a little bit of stuff there that's just like kind of demanding some planning. But I think I'm going to try to just do it in a shorter cycle. Try not to look too far down the road until I have more data, and then I'm going to try to put together a list today of the little honeydews. I did a fantastic job parking this trailer right up against my fence. I was so impressed. It's 30 feet long, and I have no experience backing up. A neighbor gave me a little pointer with the bottom of the wheel thing, which I've forgotten from 30 years ago or something. But I was so impressed with myself that I've got it like this close to the fence. And then as I start working on it, I'm realizing, all the gear is over on that side. I'm reaching through the fence. I can't put the stabilizer down on that side. I can't reach the gray water to test it. So yeah, that's one of the things on my list is I'm going to break everything down, attach the truck, which I need practice with anyway, pull up, pull back, give myself a couple of feet. I've also got to repair the entire fence that I had to kind of destroy to get this in here. But yeah, I'm trying to stay on top of a kind of a honeydew list of, oh yeah, I need to get duct tape for that awning. Oh yeah, I need to bookmark replacement fabric for that, and look at it and decide if we want to just make one ourselves, because these just seem so cheap. But I don't know. It's kind of fun though. Anyway, I've it's been a couple months, and I just thought I should give you all an update. Things are very, very different now. If you're watching this years from now, we're smack dab in the middle of the pandemic. That was fun. Canceled mine and many other people's birthdays. But we're happy to still have them. And it's been very interesting considering this lifestyle change in the middle of it, and especially since it started to happen at a juncture where deciding to not do this was getting to be no longer an option. Actually, it was no longer an option. And it's even after our landlord realizing, boy, the timing of this really sucks. Our lease ends May 31st, and I don't know how normal things are going to be by then. I think maybe a year from now it would be closer to that. But my neighbor's out here. She's a retired school teacher. She's up to get her mail, and I'm paranoid. Like, no one get near her. She thinks she's 80. So yeah, I mean the national parks have been closing down. RV people have been doing what do you call them? Petitions to get them open, because nobody's realizing that people do this full time. At the same time, I totally understand why they're shutting them down, because the general public, especially in Seattle. Oh, guys, come on. Everybody gets told to work from home. A lot of people just take off. A lot of people are off. And they just said, well, screw it. Kids are off of school. Let's take the camper and head to the coast. Well, the coast is like, people were not ready for this. It's March. That's April now. A lot of beaches and all the parks had to get shut down because people were crowding. And it's really unfortunate, because people who are doing this full time are actually in a great position to do the very best that can be done. Isolating. You can, there's just so many advantages. If one member of the family gets sick and somehow the others don't, you can move to where they're being treated. You can't go in the hospital now. So you could be nearer by. If things get worse, where we are, we can move to somewhere else where it's not so bad. That's another thing. We're out in the Seattle area, and man, 3 weeks ago, I want to say, we were and it was not pretty. It was looking really, 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 really bad in Seattle. And it still is. It's been devastated. But now it's New York. That's just really taken it in the teeth. And Seattle has gotten, or Washington State has gotten to where Sorry to go so long about the pandemic, but it's a big factor in changing your entire lifestyle like this. Is holy shit. Anyway, they've flattened the curve in Washington by isolating. It's now gotten to where I think the projections were we were going to hit a peak of being short. I mean, they have a number of different factors, but the one that I was watching the closest was ICU beds, because I think, man, somebody's in that spot where they got to be in the ICU. If they don't have an ICU bed, if they don't have, really it's not the bed, it's the gear that comes with an ICU bed and the isolation. It's it looks to me actually a lot like a common thing in some types of systems. I'm a database analyst, and databases have this issue with some architectures where not the type of database, but some application architectures that are sitting on databases will have a vulnerability you cannot see until it hits you. So the performance will be fantastic, and then you just add one more record, and the way that application's handling memory vis-a-vis the database causes it to drop to about 5% of the speed that it was one record ago. And I feel like this is a little bit like that, where we just hit that point where you run out of beds and think, well, okay, so it's not going to be as good. But, well, what's your substitute ICU bed? It's like a substitute Porsche. I mean, what is it, a Mazda RX-7? It's not going to do. It's just not going to do. That's going to kill people. So Washington's gotten from a daily run rate at worst of about 600 beds short down to 13. So now somebody's got to pinch for, it looks like, 4 days and go, how do we make a regular hospital bed, an ICU bed, with some stuff that we've maybe gotten from, maybe the military. I don't know where we get some extra gear, because the fucking president's not helping. Asshole. Sorry. I'm not getting plugged. I have a whole nother channel for this. Stay away from it. Don't run off on me. We're just talking RVs here. I'm sure you felt the same way many times, depending on who it was. Doesn't matter. This is us, though. We're all good. Yeah, so you hit this tipping point, and suddenly you go from we're managing to people are dying, and people are dying anyway. But we're not giving them their best chance. And we've gotten to where, I feel like 13 beds, man, you can find a way, and for just a few days. And we might even end up, adjusting to where that doesn't even happen. That's imaginable. Hundreds of beds, to me, it just seems like apocalypse. It's like Walking Dead. It's just not cool. And that's just bad. Of course, we've got ventilators and masks and lions and tigers and bears. Anyway, very, very interesting times to be doing this. Can't believe we managed to add another plot twist. Can I call this a plot twist? I feel like this is like when Trinity died on Matrix, and you're like, that's not a plot twist. This is no. The third movie sucks. That's not a plot twist. So I think this is a little bit much for a plot twist. But at the same time, even though our landlord offered to let us stay, he even offered to lower the rent, which is interesting because, the high rent's why we have to leave the entire community, why we have to engage in this whole lifestyle. That's what forced us into it. And just one time, all of a sudden the world changes and it's shifted. But very kindly, he was offering for us to stay, a couple months just so that we're not leaving when it's the worst possible time. But, the more I look at it, the more I feel like I wish I could leave now. I wish we could just saddle all of this stuff up and get further away. We're in the suburbs, and it's gorgeous here. but it has become crowded, and that's already been kind of not our bag. We both grew up in small towns. I love this city, but yeah, there's bad traffic at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, and that's already stressful and annoying for country people. But now that traffic is deadly. They might sneeze on you. So yeah, if I could, if I had all my stuff together, I even blowing the rent money, I would just roll and head off. I'd head off to the peninsula, but maybe not to a vacation destination, Seattleites, just anywhere. But yeah, it's. I guess what I would say is maybe we lucked out. Maybe our driveway is real special. It is. It's quite a driveway. But man, I already feel like we're there. Having this, having a nice view. I've got birds. I've got a creek. I don't even have my propane hooked up yet, which is stove and fridge and hot water and the generator out back. I don't even know if that works. But just with electric, man, we got a home. It's pretty cool. A lot of possibilities. Anyway, I guess I better get a little longer than usual here. Better let you go. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And keep adventuring. And if you got some questions about stuff we're running into, Hensley, this is a 95 Terry 29L. We found the owner's manual for it. We'll get a digital thing of that going for people who are missing. I couldn't find one anywhere. Yeah, put some questions in the comments. Maybe I'll give me some ideas of what to share next time, especially the little things that I'm running into. If this window's stuck. Wonder if anybody's dealt with that. Anyway, ask some questions. Nice talking to you. I'll try to catch up more frequently. Take it easy, yo.